Candace Craw-Goldman again with quantumhealers.com, and we have another great question to answer. So the question that somebody emailed in was, what is the difference between a past life regression and a quantum healing session? Well, at first glance, they might seem very similar. Both involve deep relaxation or altered states of consciousness and exploring the subconscious mind. But there are some key differences, and if you're considering a session for yourself, you might want to understand what could come up, okay, and what the differences are. So a past life regression is just that. It's journeying into the past. This is something many people are familiar with. They're familiar with the phrase past life and a regression, because of course regression means to go back. So it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a technique used to access and explore previous lifetimes. Now, there's always a question, are they real lifetimes or are they just symbolic to help the person? In my opinion, what does it matter as long as it helps? Okay, but that's another topic for another day too. So this is usually done through hypnosis or sometimes guided meditations, which allows the client to tap into subconscious memories that might offer insight, healing, closure, all of that kind of stuff, even inspiration. Now, one of the most well-known pioneers of past life regressions is Dr. Brian Weiss. He was a psychiatrist who, through hypnosis, helped his patients recall vivid past life experiences. His book really was groundbreaking, and that title is Many Lives, Many Masters. If you haven't picked that up and looked through it, it would be well worth your time. This book introduced the world to the idea that exploring past lives can help us understand present life with its challenges, fears, and sometimes even physical symptoms. Now, of course, we've got Dolores Cannon. So with her, it started with past lives, but it just exploded after that. So when we talk about past life regression, Dolores Cannon spent 40 years developing quantum healing hypnosis technique, QHHT. All the way back when I took her class in 2008, she hadn't even named it that yet. It was Dolores Cannon's method of past life regression, even though it went beyond that. So yes, QHHT and other quantum healing techniques was a major part of this work. And she had thousands of cases, and so many people helped her write her book about these detailed past life memory sessions, sometimes spanning multiple lifetimes. But then things got interesting for Dolores, right? Dolores discovered that once a client was deep enough into trance, they weren't just recalling past lives. They were able to connect with their higher consciousness and even other realms. Now, this higher consciousness she called the subconscious. We often today refer to that as the higher self. This meant that QHHT wasn't just about exploring the past. It became a powerful tool for healing, where people could get answers for life's biggest questions and even experience spontaneous physical healing. But you know what? She didn't really start out doing that. She started out just wanting to be a researcher of past knowledge. The healing stuff came later, okay? So here's the key difference between a past life regression and a quantum healing session. A past life regression, it's focused exploring on just that, previous lifetimes for insight and understanding. But a quantum healing session, whether QHHT, BQH, or there are others out there, it's much more expansive. It's not just about the past. It could be about the future. It could be about other dimensions. It could be about divine contact. There's so many things. It's about whatever the client needs in the present moment. So in quantum healing, in the terms of QHHT or BQH, someone might access a past life, or they might go somewhere completely different. Sometimes both of those things happen in the same sessions. Future lives, parallel realities, lives on other planets, pure energy states, direct communication with their higher self or ascended masters. BQH in particular takes this even further, you see, because it allows for more flexibility and blending in of other healing methods like energy work, Reiki, sound healing, and of course, these sessions are available to you remotely. Now, unlike QHHT, which follows a more structured, in-person format, BQH allows practitioners to trust and follow the energy of the session no matter where it leads, without a whole lot of rules, regulations, and severe structure. And that's the beauty of quantum healing, especially BQH. It meets you just exactly where you are. So let's touch just a little about what comes up in a quantum healing session. Sometimes it's a surprise. Sometimes people know already and it's confirmation. It's that whole gamut, okay? So if you're thinking about having a session, you might wonder, what will I experience? Well, the answer is, it really just depends. A past life might come up, especially if it holds an important lesson or a connection to something happening in your life today. But just as often, sometimes even more, people meet with or speak to their higher guides or guidance or higher dimensional beings. They receive direct messages, sometimes lectures, from their higher self. Some higher selves can be quite stern. You can definitely access future lives, potential lifetimes, potential timelines, and parallel lives. There's even, of course, the place to explore between lives, where souls plan their next incarnation. That's one of my favorite places to go. In a quantum healing session, you can experience energetic healing and even physical improvements in the body. And sometimes you notice those improvements, like when you sit up in a session. Sometimes it takes a little longer. So the session follows the client's energy, also the practitioner's energy, because they're combined. I've always said it's kind of like a chemistry experiment. And the best part, you really don't have to believe any of this to be true. Really, you don't have to believe in a past life. You don't have to believe in it wholeheartedly. You just have to be open to the experience. Now, Dolores used to say, believe to achieve, doubt and you're out. And that's one way of looking at it, yes. But I've had some incredible sessions with people who actually just were tagging along with somebody else who wanted a session. And some of those people have gotten some of the most incredible outcomes of sessions because they weren't like forcing an outcome, or, you know what I mean? They were open. And being open and neutral sometimes is one of the best places you can be to facilitate true healing. So if you're curious about past lives, maybe you want to understand karmic patterns, or maybe you have dreams or some feelings about places or time periods that you feel drawn to explore, having a past life regression could be a wonderful tool for discovery. But sometimes that's just the entrance and you'll go someplace else completely. But in general, if you're open to a broader journey, one that could include past lives, but so much more, then, BQH or QHHT might be the right kind of session for you, depending on your particular circumstance. But no matter which path you choose, the answers always kind of come from the same place. They're within here. And these sessions simply help you access them in a deeper, often really profound way. So, have you had a past life regression before? How about a quantum healing session? What was your experience like? I've had maybe 25 over the years, and they've been all over the map. I'd love to hear how yours was, if you had one, or what you hope one would be. Okay, and if you are a practitioner, a service to others, guide, life coach, if you are an energy healer, if you are a reader, if you are a medium, if you're a Reiki practitioner, if you are any of those things, not just a quantum healer, not just QHHT or BQH practitioner, please consider joining us at quantumhealers.com. We're a support forum. We are a worldwide directory listing, and we have an online learning platform. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe and do all those things and like this video. It helps me out a lot. Thanks everyone. Till next time, bye for now.